JTR played for the second night in a row. What You Are and Fool in the Rain make their tour debuts. And overall, this was a rain-filled Setlist. DMB post-show stream starts now.
It's your boy Concert Viz 34 back at home.
What up, what up? It's your boy Concert Viz 34.
Yep, so your boy Concert Viz 34 coming to you here.
What up, what up? It's your boy Concert Viz 34. Aria. Okay, so this is Aria, and just tell us a little bit about yourself and about your love for the Dave Matthews Band.
I've been a fan of the band since April 28, 1998, and if you recognize the date, that's when Before These Crowded Streets was released.
Alpine is definitely a better venue than Summerfest, but we'll take it. I think I've been going to shows for about 20-something years.
I always tell people, like, compare DMB to now to when I first started. And I got started, in my opinion, I feel like I got started late. Like, I was at the very end of the band's prime. I feel like that 03 to 06 was like the end of the prime. 07, 08 was like, you know, we're at the very end. And then when Roy passed.
But Dave really, this is the thing. Dave has put, Rashawn has been assigned the quarterback of this team. He is the coach, the play caller. He designs the jams. Dave just shows up and plays whatever he's going to play. Massachusetts, what up? Worcester, what up? Hopkinton, what up? Northbridge, Mass, what up? Cranston, Rhode Island, just across the border, what up? Providence, what up? Foxborough, what up? Hyannis, what up? Shout out to Yarmouth. Framingham, Mass, what up? Marlborough, Mass, what up? Lowell, Mass, what up? South Shore, what up? North Shore, what up? Beverly, I see y'all. Fall River, what up? I guess, man, it's scary out there. Don't forget to hit that like button. Danvers, what up? Concord, what up? Malden, what up? Medford, what up? Sturbridge, what up? What up, what up? It's your boy Conserviz 34. What's your name? Who's your daddy? Dun, dun, dun. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Yeah, Matt says Fall River might be the scariest place. Yes. Yes. This is true. It's Craig from Wells says a Monsters of a show from Mansfield. And here's the thing. Monsters has gone missing. They was playing it nonstop. I actually want to hear this song live, and we'll see. Hopefully, I'll get it. I got a couple more shows left, 4 more shows left. Um, so, Greg, we'll talk about JTR because, yeah, we'll get to that in a second. Let's pull up the set list. And this show was better than I thought it would be. Um, Overall, I'm always glad to be at a Dave show, but after last night, I was worried about how this would be because they played so many great songs. And I think the other thing about this show, there were no songs. Let me just look at the set list again. The drop D guitar, acoustic guitar, did not come out at all. I'm just looking through the set right now. Let's pull up that set for y'all. Drop D guitar, and I'm actually glad about that. I'm glad about that. Um, Not that I don't want to hear bartender. It would be great to get a bartender, but that's a 12 stringer. But the 6 string drop D did not come out. So what that entails is there was no crush, right? There was no don't drink the water. And of course, there was no shake me like a monkey. They weren't gonna do a 4-peat. So glad that there was no shake me like a monkey tonight. And Justin's right, lots of baritone guitar to the point where by the time they played What You Are, I was like, oh, is it gonna be break free? I just assumed I was gonna be break free. Then I started to see that like that ominous buildup was starting, and I was like, oh, it's What You Are. What You Are may be one of my favorite Dave Matthews Band songs, and we'll get to that as well in just a second. So, this show, first off, I was there. No Brian Williams. If you know, you know. I was at this show. It was great to meet up. I got to meet Jesse from Twitter, who, if you guys aren't following him, Jesse Stone, great last name, by the way. Um, right. If you're trying to learn some DMB, Jesse is great at really breaking down the parts, nailing them to a T. And he's even given out some lessons. Check out his Looking for a Vein, which is further down here. Right here, you can, and this is great to help to teach you this some of this stuff. But he is solid with his guitar playing. Met Jesse, met Stupid Almanac. Homeboy came out of his car and was like, "Yo, are you Marcus? Are you Constable?" I was like, "Yo, what's about to go on?" We're in the middle of traffic, and Stupid Almanac. I was like, "Hey, you trying to pull up on me, bro? Easy, easy." But then I saw his wife, and I was okay. He's not gonna do nothing in front of the wife. Well, his wife would get him if he got me. Shout out to Stupid Almanac. Happy Father's Day to him. But I was able to meet some people, be able to catch up with people I've already met. And this show, it rained it pretty much rained the entire day. In the beginning of the day, in the afternoon, it rained pretty hard. So this was, you want to talk about JTR and the rain theme. It just rained nonstop. And very rarely what'll happen here is the weather, by the way, in New England can be hard to predict because of where we are. We have the Appalachian Mountains, and you have various factors that cause these nor'easters and cause other stuff. Many other parts of the country, you can kind of predict what's going to happen because there's not as many crazy things going on. And the other area being somewhat part of the Rockies because of how that can break down storms. But even the Rockies, it just kind of kills everything. The Appalachians and the Catskills aren't as tall. Anyway, long story short, it rained the entire day. Like it literally, when they say that, usually there's a break or it ends early. Did not happen today. So when you look at the rain themed set list, it literally rained all day, and it just was a brutal rain because it went from fast rain to slow, and then it went into kind of a moderate rain. So this band being in the area for today, coming out of Bangor, they could not escape the rain. It just kept coming. Fortunately, there weren't any noticeable lightning strikes or anything to delay this show. So the show was going to start on time. It just was that it was a dreary tailgate, a dreary scene here in June, where typically it can get up. Last year it was over 90 degrees during the tailgate, literally a year ago from this show, because it was June 17th last year and June 17th this year. If you've never been to New England, it gets hot here in the summer. The humidity isn't always as crazy as the South, but it still gets hot. And the humidity is worse than the Mountain West and the West Coast. So again, I really did not, and maybe it's a good thing, I just didn't have good high expectations for this show, because this band putting together two individual tour stops, non 2-night stand, many times you get one banger, the next one's kind of so-so. And you can kind of see that with the way they played Hartford. They poured their heart out in Forest Hills, and the Hartford show was under 2 hours of song time. Still had to say goodbye, but they literally just they cut a lot of jams out. Today there weren't that many jams, but at the same time I felt fulfilled. So you start off with this Fool in the Rain, and I hope I can get someone else's video of this, because when it came on, my hand went up like this, I was like, oh my God, they're playing Fool in the Rain. And I know it opened shows last year, but I was not expecting Fool in the Rain to open up this show. Sandy says, it's a good point. Dave said he loved how colorful the lawn was. Yes, with the rain. Gary did mention that. So the Fool in the Rain was like, I did not expect that, even though this has been done and it did rain. I thought either he's going to do JTR or he's not going to do JTR. He then kind of gives me a pump fake again. What I like about this set, the space between is the second song. So it's kind of a little clever thing. Fool in the Rain, the space between JTR. It's kind of funny how they did that. Via the Fool in the Rain between JTR, and the space between is separating a song about being a fool in the rain, and the JTR is a song like Rain Down on Me. Shout out to John the Baptist. Big ups to John the Baptist. So I think the first song caught me off guard. The second song, Space Between, has been on the baritone guitar for this entire tour, and I'm here for it instead of the raised B guitar. I love that. I think it really makes it feel like the actual album, and I think it's best on the baritone. Get the JTR 12 stringer. And this is just always great. Now, this happens, and this happens especially with like jam bands. I'm looking at you, Fish fans. This happens where, because JTR was repeated, it's no longer sacred. Now, that's maybe, if you heard that, Greg, I don't know where you heard that. I'm not shocked that someone said that, and I'm sure there's a contingent of people there. Now, let's look at JTR all time, right? As far as consecutive days, you have to go back to 2013, May 28th and May 29th of 2013. It was played consecutive days, right? And I got that 6-7 was my first JTR with that number 34 T's on a 12 stringer before. So you have to go back to 2013 to have back-to-back JTRs as far as consecutive days. This song has only been played 133 times. And since 2018, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 plays since 2018. And we're already at the same amount of JTRs in 2021 already in 2023. In a week, we've had 3. We've had a year's worth of JTRs as far as if you compare it to 2021. If they play this every time it rains, I don't care. And you want to be a snob, if it has to be sacred, it only can be played in rare occurrences, go and be that person. But in a year where we have 5 Walk Around the Moon songs a set, I will take JTR more and more. Whether I was here tonight or not, I think every fan should get this. I hope they play it at the Gorge. It hasn't been played since 06 at the Gorge, right? I don't care. Okay, you can be that snob and say, "Oh, it's got to be sacred and no." I want all the deep cuts being busted out, being busted down, like these chicks on Instagram who are sad and lonely and need Jesus. Right? I want all these deep cuts busted out and busted down. So that's where I stand on JTR. Now the next song, and when I saw that baritone come out, I thought it was gonna be. I was like, oh, is it? I have PTSD from the baritone. I was like, is it Bayou or is it something else? After JTR, they play Bayou, which is listen. It's like, hey, they didn't want me to be too happy tonight. Like, all right, nah. But listen, my phone blows up now when Louisiana, and listen, please, LOL, haha, you got Bayou, please. It's fun. I enjoy it. I can take a joke. I still don't like the verses of Bayou. I love the jam. I love seeing Buddy have a good time on that jam. But yeah, they play Bayou. So 2 shows so far this tour, and back-to-back Saturdays, and we get 2 Bayous for me. Bruh. But it is what it is. So they play Bayou, the crowd. But you know what's crazy is the people around me were going, you ha, like in Hartford, they weren't like you ha. But I'm glad people have fun with this song. I just don't want to play it at the shows I will go to. But seriously, I think it's great that people do enjoy this song. I don't enjoy it, but I think it is something that people do like. The 10th Bayou of the tour. Last year, it was not played till Bristol. This year, it is getting all its passport stamps in all the countries of what that doesn't make sense. That's a horrible analogy. After that, they go back to the I Want You, She's So Heavy cover into After Everything. And this is something that to me works. You get the Beatle partial in there, and then you go right to After Everything. Maybe some people don't like that. That's fine. I'm not going to the Gorge. Is that J-Bo? J-Bo, I'm not going to the Gorge this year. And by the way, I just want to say I haven't looked fully at it. I just got home. It appears to be there was some sort of a shooting event at the Gorge. It breaks my heart. I'll have to read a little more on that. But maybe at the end we'll look to see what the latest is. But our thoughts and prayers are with everyone out there. I think that is there's been some situations that have gone on at the Gorge and threats, but if there were indeed shots that rang out, that is unfortunate. It appears at this time, right before I went on stream, they were still playing music, so it appears maybe it's something in the parking lot or the Gorge campgrounds. But this is something that it's these things happen everywhere, but the one thing about the Gorge typically is when you get there, not that there haven't been, let's just say, instruments people have packed in their stuff, and some people have been sent home, right, or been told no, you can't bring this in if they've done searches. But the fact that this allegedly happened, whatever, it's some sort of event that is very sad. Oh, general camping. Thank you, Zach. Oh, Lord have mercy. So people lost their life. And I didn't know that. I saw something really quick and hopped on stream. That is heartbreaking. And we'll look at that at the end. I do want to continue to get through this here. Um, but understanding that is a horrible thing. I like the "I Want You" after everything set up. And shout out to Zach. I was able to meet up with Zach real quick before the show, and I always appreciate seeing him and seeing everything he does to tape these shows. Give Zach some time to get this tape up. It may not be up right away. Walk around the after everything. So again, I think that tandem works. Number 41 is played. 41. Let me just take a look because it hasn't been played in 4 shows, and maybe there's been times in my post caravan journey of being going to DMB shows where 41 goes missing. I actually didn't get 41 until like I think it was like my 7th show. But it looks like they're yeah, it's 617 and they have the same amount as last year. But it's interesting because sometimes I feel like it comes in waves and then sometimes it goes away. I like 41. I think Tim does a great job. I know I had a whole video about they need to bring the sax solo. I love Tim's masterful sound. And overall for this show, I said it yesterday. There seems to be more of an awareness by Tim and the mix, people who are controlling the mix, of sound guys and gals. There's an attempt to be like, okay, we don't want electric guitar blasting over. We don't want electric guitar blasting over. And then even when Tim solos, okay, now he has a little bit more of a presence, but his soloing and his tone and his spatial awareness is just keeps getting better and better. Not that he is a amazing guitar player, but he's finding, I think, a way to continue to fit into the DMB sound and spirit. Yes, he's been with the band since the beginning. Like he's been on recordings and he was at Red Rocks 95. But he went from a certain style of play in the Roy era, the pre, I guess the Roy era outside of 008, because him and Roy were together that year. But everything from through 2007, he played kind of as I'm a guest. From 08 to present, he's like, hey, I'm sitting in for this tour, and then I'm gonna come permanent. But I just love how the 41, he's done a great job, and he's using some more of these. He's using these. I want to say these Gibson ES style guitars, where you have cutaways in the guitar, you have a pick guard, you have 2 humbuckers, but these are more jazzier guitars that he's using, right? More clean, these guitars. Now he has this distortion effects, but these are guitars that are known more towards that jazz. So that was great. Walk Around the Moon, listening to it today, what my initial thought was, this song has the staying power. And, I've wanted this to happen. I've rooted for this. I want songs to have staying power. But listening to Walk Around the Moon for, I don't know how many times I've heard it, but I was like, I still love this song. The vocals that Buddy does and Dave does, the way it grooves, the way it's kind of a little unique in the way that the tempo and timings are. This song still sounds great. And at this point in the equivalent level of the Come Tomorrow songs, I did not feel that way about the songs from Come Tomorrow. Even songs like Again and Again, which I really love what Tim does in them, and I think I love the vibes of it in the studio. Sometimes it feels flatter live, and that's not the fault of anyone in the band. It's just that's how some songs are going to hit live. So Walking Around the Moon sounds great. They play When the World Ends yet again. They play this song. I think it should go away. I think it does groove, but I don't need to hear this song again. I really don't. They're gonna play it because they play what they want, and that's their decision. But they can end playing When the World Ends. We get So Damn Lucky after that. This sounds again. This is just another one that I think is always good to hear. Um, I think sometimes it's better in moderation. I say it's good, great to hear. Um, I like having it sprinkled in maybe every other show or every couple shows to fully appreciate it. Sometimes I've had it hit like back to back shows in my show list or show lineup. But it's always a great song, and I think that the "Thank You for Letting Me Be Myself" thing. Some people, I heard someone unpopular opinion they don't like it, but I like it. So I think it's great, and it's a song that it just the momentum keeps going. It doesn't fall flat at any point, and that's where the "Thank You for Letting Me Be Myself" interpolation comes in to keep that momentum going and build up a set, right? We get a Kill the Preacher in the YM. Listen, YM is not. I've always said this. It's not the tribute to Roy. It's more of a rock song. I think it's cool. It has its vibes, but I'm not looking for this. What I will say though is I'd rather have YM than You and Me. They're playing YM more frequently. You and Me seems to have a little bit of a break, which is I think is a good thing, even though it's a song that many people love and had their wedding to. It was banned. I kid you not, it was banned from my wedding. But YIM is fine here in this spot. There's a contingent that loves it, and some people tie it to Roy. I tie "Lying in the Hands of God" to Roy, which by the way has taken a break, but I think that's okay. "Lying in the Hands of God," I don't believe has been played this entire tour. And I think it's okay to give it a break. At the end of last year, I still love it. I love what Buddy does for it. I love the American Baby intro interpolation. But I'm okay with that. Matt, yes, Matt, Kill the Preacher seemed a little bit longer than normal today. And I think in some recent, I have to look it up, but perhaps in some recent plays, it's been a little longer. Um, Then after that, you Looking for a Vein. This is still an interesting song because I love it. First of all, I love the song. I just think this is another example of a song that is not when you have a talkative crowd, when you have people that are moving in and out, it doesn't hit as well. This is just me. This is just me. And everyone has the right to do what they need. I think it's important for people to, if you need to walk around, if you need to get your blood flowing, if you need to take a break from your seats, go. Is it me or do people just go like people leave their seats a lot for shows? And listen, this happens in sports too. And I think some other shows I'll do this depending on like what type of show it is. But people leave their seats a lot. Maybe it's just me. It's like I want to soak in all this music. And even during Jimmy thing, I stayed today. And also that's because I was trying to get a full vid. But like people were going in and out. And anyway, but that's their again, people take in shows differently, but it seems like people are in and out of the aisles and who knows? Maybe they're visiting friends, which I've done at shows. Um, and the other thing too is I was like right behind the soundboard. I was 4 or 5 rows, I want to say, behind the soundboard, maybe a little more or less. And like that's where I mean, I was like, I understand at the back of the uppers, it's sometimes it's almost better to go to the lawn for a little bit, and depending on the venue, but it's just weird. After that, Madman's a little later in the set than I think what they've typically been doing, and I'm here for that as well. The intro by Buddy is still great. This song still has staying power. I still think Walk Around the Moon has a slight edge over which songs have the best replay value, but Madman's is the darker song, and I love dark DMB. And I think Madman's is a song that is needed more in a set list than Walk Around the Moon in the sense of they don't have any of these epic dark songs anymore because Dave has a great life. And it's hard to write about struggle and adversity when you have a great life and you're very wealthy. And that's not Dave's fault. Dave has earned every penny he's gotten. but it's hard to write dark songs. But I think the issue that the song addresses is dark. I will say that since I've heard the acoustic version with the 12 string on a Howard Stern, it makes me listen more to the actual lyrics of this song. I'm more of a composition person, the sound of the music versus the lyrics. But I love, I really have appreciated the lyrics after hearing the Howard Stern performance of it. Um, I stayed for Jimmy Thing. I think Jimmy Thing still should be shortened, but it was a good Jimmy Thing in my opinion. And I think what I will say, the best jam part of it is Buddy and Tim. I know this is like this is the ode to let the horns do their thing, and the horns they sounded really well, but I don't need 40 what feels like 45 minutes of horns going back and forth. They're talented, they're great at what they do, but you could cut what they did in half. And I'm more intrigued about Buddy and Tim trading licks. And also what I think you could do is you could cut some of the horn play in Jimmy Thing and go quicker to Brick House and maybe do a little more of Brick House with the horns. That's a sound that Jeff and Rashawn parts will be more, and Rashawn does sing and different things, but even having that more of a jam, I think more Brick House, less Jimmy Thing. Only Takes a Moment is played. I take in this moment of the song. I love this song. I love the vibes of this song. And yet again, this is like a Dave Matthews Band moment where yet again, hey, why didn't this make an album? Hey, I understand it may have not fit Walk Around the Moon, but this should have made some sort of album. Should have made Come Tomorrow if it was made or if it was written already, or it should be something else, right? This is yet another example of, oh, this band does great music outside of an album, but saying all that and enjoying this song. And I love the build. I think the best thing about this song, it has a vibe at the beginning that's more quiet and slowly builds up. At the end, there's such a great release with the louder build up part at the end of this song. But this is another example of, oh, this is a great song. This is why I don't want D&B albums. Maybe this song does not fit on Walk Around the Moon, but I would take this song. I need to listen to it more, but so far I'd take this song over in a live setting over a lot of Walk Around the Moon in a live setting specifically. I want to be clear on that. Some of these songs from Walk Around the Moon just don't hit as well. Like I said, Looking for a Vein in a chatty Saturday night crowd does not hit as hard. It's still beautiful. Dave is doing amazing things, but there's still that idea of the crowd behind just talking and chattering and moving and shuffling. So this song Only Takes a Moment, Cha Cha, whatever they want to, two hops this time, whatever they want to call the song, it translates well to the live show. And to me, the next song gives me chills to this day. I've only heard it twice, but even when I hear the studio version, it gives me chills. When I hear it, a recording of it, it gives me chills. What You Are. There's so many emotions I have with this song, and immediately it's some of that's probably tied to the fact that I have this playlist called Hill Areas, like Hill Areas, if you say it really fast. But it's funny, right? Um, mountains aren't as fun. Mountains aren't funny. They're hilarious. It was a pun joke. I don't know. It's a bad joke. Let me give myself a buzzer for that horrible. But I have this playlist where literally I'd go early in the morning on a Saturday morning, on a Tuesday morning, and run up this steep hill, and it would have like Two Words by Kanye West, and then after that, it would have What You Are. And I can think about these trying times where I'm exhausted. I don't want to run up this hill one more time, and I What You Are comes on, and I just push myself to do this hill training on this steep grade hill. And some of that has something to do with it, the lyrics, the feelings of it, the energy. There's a lot of emotions that come with What You Are. And if you guys saw the video, let's see if we can go to IG and show this. This was at MSG, and I was shaking and I was so excited I could hardly get the lyrics out, right? I could hardly even get the lyrics out right. I was just so it's a moment that I'll never forget. And tonight I felt just like that in some ways, but I remembered the lyrics. Let's see if we can go to my Instagram, IG concert viz 34. I believe I have a let's see. Oh, hold on. Let's what's John doing? Yo, John, what you doing on Instagram? Hold on. This is my guy. John, you my guy, but bro, what are you doing? Bro, like, what is this, John? Who are you? Who is this? Feels good to be home. Who are you? Bruh. Come on, bro. John, you're bruh. I don't know. You my guy, John, but what is this laid back on the thing? Oh, here's a set list. Dancing Nance got it. Okay. Let's look at this though. This is the set list. Let's zoom in. So we have Fool in the Rain, Space Between JJ by After Everything, 41 Walk Around World Ends. By the way, they don't list I Want You, She's So Heavy. They've always played it in this current, since they started it, they've been playing it together. Walk Around World Ends, So No I Am, Vain, Madman's Eyes, Jimmy, Cha Cha. Cha Cha's the new song, What You Are, Nancy, Stay. So they did everything as is. And I love this Nancy's and the Stay little run through. I believe they did that in Hartford too. We're going to you're going to this one. So let's just take a look because I should have a react. Oh, here it is. This again, I can't explain it, but there's so many emotions that I have with What You Are, and it's because it's just such a dark, epic release of a song. And the lyrics and everything. So this is me at MSG. Let's take a look. Hold on, it's coming up in a second. Let me skip through it too.
First time since July of 2013. Bro, it's almost been a decade. Listen to this. Yo, stop playing. Stop playing. Playing around, folks. They're not playing.
So that was it. That's this is the real slugs. Oh, let me get out of this because it's got Game of Thrones music and maybe how do you let's all right, let's get out of here. Anyway, the point is it's just a special song to me. And then Nancy's and To Stay. It was last played at Hartford. Oh yeah, they did the same thing. I thought they did this. By the way, Hartford full vid out, YouTube concert viz 34. But I liked how they pump faked us here in Hartford and how they did it again. Now, I had a feeling it was possible, but I still like the idea. It feels fresher to have that there. So we get this set, it ends, we get 18 songs. It still feels pretty quick. And we get I think the big thing about this show is we get a 3-song encore. Something to Tell My Baby wasn't as bad as I thought it would be in the E1 spot. I was worried about the loud crowds. The crowd they were still yelling. There's always going to be yelling in this type of amphitheater environment. But it wasn't as bad as I thought. I think back to like, what is it, a year ago when it first was like, was on CNN or something. I was like, yo, Sounds great on CNN. This joint is not going to hit right. They played it in Mexico in 2022, and I was like, yo, this what is this? But I think I've gained a little more appreciation for it. Now Dave says he said a couple things. So he says he kind of made allusions to we're gonna play this whether you like it or not. And Jimmy thing was the first one, right? He's like, we love this song, we play it here a lot, but we're gonna play it again, and it was Jimmy thing. Virginia in the Rain, Dave said, hey, I don't think we played this song here, but we're gonna still play it because we love it. So that was not the lie detector determined that was a lie. Now who cares? I really don't care. It's the third time, and I believe one of the times that it was played, I was there. It was like the second time it was ever played, right after it was played in Hartford. So let's look at 20, yeah, 6/12 and 6/13. So this is a June 13th show in Mansfield. This was the second ever Virginia in the Rain full front to back. So
Bruh.
they did play it here, and they actually played it for a second consecutive night. And which also brings me back to the fact Virginia in the Rain played 2 nights in a row. Also, by the way, this acoustic, bro, this was this Raven into the Stone. Oh my gosh, that was I was on the lawn for this show, and I remember that it was fire, man. It was fire. Where are you going? To Tripping Billy's Stolen Away. What would you say? Great run. Outside of Where You Going, that's the only song. But everything else, man, they once they got to Raven, that the place was just but yeah, so Dave kind of said that like, but he was Virginia in the Rain was played. I love how it's in the encore. I think what did first full band Virginia in the Rain in the encore since June 11, 2015. Right, full band is the key. Dave has put it in the E1 spot as he used to do it in some previous years, here and there, including last year. He'd put it in the as a E1. But I love the idea of just going for it and putting it in that E1. And then we got PMP to Rapunzel to end the show. Also played yesterday. Repeats PMP Rapunzel, Nancy's Only Takes a Moment. And then what else do we have? Walk Around the Moon, JTR. I think the repeats, I'm not as mad about the repeats from yesterday, even though I wasn't at the show. I think PMP and Rapunzel, hey, it is what it is, and it's a cool song. Something to Tell My Baby. Oh, that was a repeat. Not as big of a deal. It's a newer song. Don't Nancy's. They didn't play Bayou, so it wasn't a repeat. But Nancy's, hey, playing that back-to-back shows, I'm all for that. I said I would love a lot of what they got in Bangor to come to Mansfield, and that's kind of the stuff they brought was awesome. So overall, I like this show better than Hartford. Hartford had some special moments like Say Goodbye in the E1, and it had the typical situation, which is always awesome. But to me, this is just me, and I love the typical jam. If you give me a What You Are and then Nancy, if you give me It Only Takes a Moment, What You Are to Nancy's, I'd rather have all three of those songs than typical situation by itself. Plus a JTR, right? I mean, to me, JTR, What You Are, Nancy's, all in the same set is special in this era of the band. Especially that What You Are. I really that's one of those songs that it gets play here and there every year, but it hadn't gotten play in Mansfield in a while. And really, What You Are, since I've been going, I haven't missed a Mansfield show since 2013. I haven't missed a Mansfield show in a decade. In none of those shows we got What You Are. So the fact that it came back to this venue was awesome, right? I haven't missed a Hartford show since 2012, and when I see songs like "The Stone" came back last year, "Break Forward" and "Break Free" came back last year. Um, I think that's special. I think it's special to when a song that was played once at this venue and now it comes back. The poster. I'll tell you this: when I walked out, the poster was still there, and I walked out during the end of Rapunzel. So if anyone has a full Rapunzel, that'll help me to make the full video. If not, I'll just play the credits during the tape or audio that once I get that from Zach. But yeah, this poster, I think it's some people liked it, but it was still available. Unless I still saw that poster hanging up as I walked out. The problem with Methane is I understand and I put respect on their name for they have a task to fill in a bunch of poster spots throughout an entire tour, right? So the band has certain artists, but there's 40 something dates. Sure, you could pick 40 artists, but they want to make sure they are giving probation periods to some first time artists they work with. They want to get some of the Slaters and some of the Quacks and some of the other people that they know have a following in the D&B community. So, with all things considered, they have to fill in a lot of spots. My issue is with Methane is they're still doing the same stuff. Ooh, it's a car with 41, right? They're just kind of mixed. They're like it's like they're making a poster generator. All right, put a moon. How big do you want the moon? How big do you want the mushrooms? How big do you want the car? Do you want a guy and a girl in the car? Do you want one person sitting on the car? What number are you going to put on the vehicle or plane? And so to me, this is not something I was going to go home with because I have a very high standard because I really don't have that much, in this condo I'm in. There's not a lot of wall space. There is wall space, but I want to save it for bangers. So I passed on this poster. It was an easy pass. I'd like to thank Methane for making a poster that doesn't take up my money. My solution, though, and this would be feedback to the band and to Methane, because I understand that these artists are talented at what they do. I just feel like there's no effort. I think there should be more poster series because I can tell you these Methane posters that are collecting dust that are going to be moved and shipped off, not to the east side in the Deluxe Apartment of Sky, but up in the warehouse website or the Music Today website to chill and collect even more dust. You got to have more series. I think the band hit a right tune when they have the baseball card thing, right? You put a limited run, 150 per show. People trade them. People are looking to get other, ones they're not at. Some people, their goal is to get a baseball card from every show, even if they have to pay a little more. I think they need to go back to doing the series. You had candy, you've had cards, you've had. I think the first thing I would do is I've had to have an instrument series. I'd have a Buddy Strong keyboard or organ. I'd have a Tim Reynolds guitar, so that makes people want to collect them. So even if it's a middle of nowhere show, you have a better likelihood of selling those posters on the warehouse if you have that. The band has done this. They were wildly popular. It's not a knock if they do it every other year or switch up what series they have. It would create much more demand for these posters that would otherwise wouldn't have sold out. Now, the other thing too is I was a little disappointed that this show got a Methane print. I wish it would have gotten another artist. I think this is a big venue. Now, listen, Deer Creek got a Methane, right? Every big venue is possibly going to get a Methane. but I wish that this show got a better artist or a more unique piece, because this was a unique show. This is a special weekend in the band, and sometimes these type of weekends will get a tour pumping as they go to some, they go to Burgestown. They go to Burgestown and then they go to Columbia, Maryland, which is Meriwether, which is sold out. No Virginia shows. Everyone from Virginia is going up to the DMV, the M part of the DMV, and going there. So yeah, we'll see. But I think again, they need to have more poster series here. So what else? Again, I just cannot stress enough. This band sounds great. The band, if you have not been to a show, this band sounds great. Tim holding back, where Sean, to me, was not as master blaster jamming. And even this year, even in the last year, that's been one of my big things. I respect what Rashawn does with the band. I just am not the person. It's not for me to hear the loud squeals. I understand there's a style of playing. There's a way of playing that's a part of, and that it's even just more of a natural thing. I think that he's done a great job this year, and I just feel like it's not as blasting as it has been in years past. So that's kind of my thing. Um, what else? Yeah, Monsters went away. That's okay. It's okay to give songs a break. I do hope it does make a return. Because I would love to hear how it sounds. I think they did a great job in Mexico. I have a whole video on that there, so I think that's a good thing. Um, what else? What else? Go back to looking at this. Yeah, yeah. That's So the band goes. They have some time off. Hopefully, they're able to see their kids. For those of them who are fathers, will see their kids for Father's Day. I'm sure they'll be taking some flights, and then they come back. Right, the next show is on the 23rd, which is next Friday. So they have a week off, and I hope that Dave's voice and everyone else is able to get some well deserved rest in the middle of what is always a marathon tour, even with these little breaks in between. I just thoughts on the new song debuting as okay. Thoughts on a new song debut on an album tour. I'm fine with it because the new song hits better, right? They're playing 5 Walk Around the Moon songs, and what's unique about this release is the album is released the day the tour starts. Come Tomorrow took a little bit of time to come out in June after the band had some warm-ups in May. And even if, like I said, if we go to some random shows, take a look to see, not 08, oh, there was no 2018. Let's just take a look. I think we did this before, but even like, let's see, Mid Florida. So there were 5 Come Tomorrow, and I guess it did happen, but it was still the album was not out right away. Yeah, it looks like they did have 5. Oh, this is Deer Creek 5 Come Tomorrow. Spec. Yeah, so they had 5. And maybe I just didn't realize that at the time because I went to shows during this year. But yeah, I don't know why. Maybe I just didn't realize it, but I maybe I'm looking more at the data, but Yeah, there's 5 Come Tomorrow songs. That's interesting because I just feel like this one, it's like, oh wow, there's 5, but I guess that's how it was. Now, 2018 was not one of my favorite tour years, but that's because the band was adjusting and trying to find its own identity, and they have it now, and I love that they have it now. So, oh, John, it's been a minute. Shout out to John. Southboard area was packed with kids tonight. Looked like the crew brought a lot of their kids there for Father's Day weekend. Oh, that's awesome. That's really cool. Um, I was just behind there, so I didn't see. And hope you enjoyed the show, John. Oh, I just again, you put what you are in JTR. I think it can change a whole show for me personally. I know that's just me potentially, but I just thought this was a great show. When you have those type of things, this band I mean, Mansfield loves classic songs. Not that Jimmy thing isn't popular in other markets, but like the Under the Table and Dreaming and Crash songs really seem to hit here well. Even something like What Would You Say, just it really hits well. This band has a lot of fans from this area who were teenagers, college kids going to school in Boston at BC or BU or LaSalle or Tufts, and they followed this band around. And but then a lot of them, I feel like Mansfield more than Hartford, there was a contingent of fans who only go to, and I could be wrong, but it seems like Hartford's has more of a hardcore. Oh, we want these deep cuts. It had that 10 years ago. Where Mansfield, as long as you play the hits, you got people that are ready to party and have fun. It just seems like Mansfield's a little more hit friendly. In Hartford, you used to have some of these deep cuts, and there would be appreciation for that. And some of that is also Hartford is closer to the Jersey. People from I saw New York tags. People still drive up from New York, but Hartford still is closer to New York City, and even parts of upstate New York are closer to Hartford than they are to the Boston metro. So you get more of that crowd that would go to Hartford, along with they live by SPAC but still go to Hartford. So I feel like everything I've seen as far as this venue, more than the other venues I've been to, these fans love the Under the Table hits, the Crash hits. Not that those don't hit everywhere, just there's a little bit of a special spot for those fans who maybe started off hardcore with this band, found other stuff, and now what they do is a yearly or every other year, they may go to Mansfield, and as long as they have free time or the time off of work, they kind of live back to those glory days. Every day is still not played. I'm okay with that happening. This happened last year. Every day was not played till SPAC. Again, I'm okay with that. Like I said, Lying in the Hands of God is not being played. I'm okay with that. This is an album total, so here's some of the new stuff. But that's pretty much it. Oh, Kermit the Frog. He's still driving back to New York. Okay. Yeah, that's a hike. And you know what's crazy too? Kermit the Frog, aka Zach. We both go to John Mayer in Boston earlier this year. And guess what happens? Literally a bunch of rain. We both decide to go because typically I don't see Zach at Mansfield. Maybe he's gone, maybe he hasn't, but usually someone else is covering that show. I go and meet up with Zach just like I did in Boston for John Mayer, and it's a day where it rains all day. I don't know what's going on. We need to have a meeting, Zach and I, and only one of us can go to. Well, actually, that's not gonna work because I don't want to miss any Mansfield shows. So how about you find another taper, Zach? Find someone else to tape. It's not you, it's you. Okay.
Bruh.
Nah, I'm just messing with you. But again, I always enjoy seeing Zach, even if it's just briefly before the show. Shout out to Valerie. Valerie is someone I met through my friend John, and she was here first time in Massachusetts. She got to enjoy that. and she's been to a bunch of DMB shows of the year, just not in Mass or in Maine. And she went to her first Maine show yesterday, or I guess Friday. That's pretty much it. I will be working on a full vid in conjunction with the audio from Zach. To have that. If you have videos, please upload them. Please message me, because I say that because I have everything but the end of Rapunzel, but there are people walking back, and that's people are going to go to the bathroom during a show, but some of my shots aren't the best. So if you have a great song or a great moment or a great portion of the show and are open to sharing it, I don't make profits off these videos that are full vids. For these Matthews Band shows. Oh, Zach, let's see if we can get Zach. Let's see. We'll get Zach on the phone here. Give me 1 second. Yo, I told my wife, oh, it's gonna be a 30-minute stream today. I said it's gonna be a 30-minute. I said it may not, but right, let's get Zach here. Hey Zach, how you doing?
Hey Marcus, how's it going?
Good. Thanks for joining. And what did you think of this show?
So, first off, we definitely do need to talk because, just you and I in combination in any sort of Boston market show seems to just have absolutely atrocious weather. So, I guess I do have to find a new taper to come over to Mansfield and cover those shows.
Yes.
But, no, so this was my, I think, fourth.
You're breaking up, Zach. Actually, let me see, Zach. I'm gonna send you. Maybe I can call you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, but like the last 30 seconds, we couldn't hear anything. Also, if you want to try to call me, I just sent you my number in the chat, not the public chat, and the way we usually chat. Maybe that would help. If not, no worries, because I want you to. Yeah, I can't hear you. Oh, here it is. Hello, Zach.
I'm sorry, Marcus. My cell connection was a little bouncy.
Gotcha. Yeah. So, what did you think of the show?
I had absolutely great fun. The only thing that I would say is that I was kind of hoping that Fool in the Rain was not going to come back. I feel like the band played the hell out of it last year. But otherwise, it was a really solid show.
Yeah. Did you catch on to the there was no drop D acoustic guitars for the entire show?
Yeah, a little bit. Listen, I'm sorry to be interrupting you now. I think it seems like my connection is breaking up, but we'll catch up later.
Okay. All right. Safe travels.
All right, thanks.
All right. Bye. Okay, yeah, I want to make sure he's good on the road. So, um, but yeah, I think that's actually one of the. And again, I love looking at the guitars and different things like that, and trying to figure out. And just like everyone, just like 99% of DMB fans who try to call a song, you get wrong sometimes. What did I try to call? I was trying to call. I was like, I think looking for a vein. I thought it was gonna be Ocean and a Butterfly because I was like, oh, Jeff's got the soprano sax, and this it looks like they're gonna play. I think something about a new song, but no, I was wrong. I should have known. I think he said something about it being quiet, and I should have that was the easy. But some of the stuff I was able to kind of get in. So, but it's hard when there's no drop D and there was a raised B for wait, what was there? Was there any raised B acoustic song? I don't even think there wasn't even a raised B acoustic song. There's the baritone guitar, which is in standard B. Floating around in space between JTR Bayou. Just after everything, walk around the moon. Yeah, there was no raised B. So there's no raised B or drop D acoustics, 6-string acoustics for this show. J-Bo says, yeah, it's a long drive. Yeah, there's something about that drive that is just like even tonight I was like, but I made it back. Where like what's crazy is, and if you don't live in the Northeast, I drove back from Deer Creek. I've driven back from the Gorge. Alpine, I was very close for last year. I was very close. But sometimes, like some of the roads and the travel ways in the East Coast, the Northeast, are not they're not as smooth as other parts of the country, in my opinion. Like I go drive in other states, and I like, for instance, driving in Washington State. Now Seattle has a lot of traffic, but the highways and everything, even I-5, it seems like sometimes it's a little smoother. Maybe it's because of the landscape I'm not used to, but I don't know. It seems like the rest of the country is better than the Northeast, which is tight and curvy and windy. How I was getting out of the lots. I was in the green lot, which essentially there's this part of I guess used to be VIP right in front of the venue. They put a barrier and they kind of have you squirt, like slide out next to the VIP center. And it was pretty convenient to be there. The ticket I bought from the on sale had an option for green lot, and I got it. If I was to do it again, I probably would have bought the $60 easy out lot because it's literally on the surface road to get on the highway. That one usually is not that bad, but today it just like it felt like we just stopped for like 20 minutes. And what they're doing is they have to get all these people out. Mansfield is literally a small town that has that can have 20, 30,000 fans. No, I think it's 18. I think it's close to 18, but it's still a lot of cars for the area. And there's one way in and there's one way out. The paid lots, which can be 60 to over $150, have easier ways to get to the exit. The free lot, like mazes and snakes around to feed into where the people from the other lots get out. So the free lots can be pretty stressful to try to get out of, and it can literally take hours. It can take three hours to really get out. I mean, depending on the show, and they've done better things with the traffic pattern, but it can be pretty crazy. I think that's all. I mean, yeah, it's hard doing these 1 a.m. streams, but I like to give you my thoughts. I try to stay committed to this. Perhaps in another era, your boy Constaviz 30. I shouldn't talk myself in the third person. That's pretty lame. Let me get myself. Yeah. But maybe I will start doing morning stuff and just go to sleep and do it in the morning. But thank you guys for staying on. And it looks like obviously J Bo's in SLC, Salt Lake City. Um, I want to do something. Let's do something from. Oh, I didn't. I did not timestamp this Hartford show, but I do want to do something from this Hartford show. So we may have to figure it out. Yeah, let's see. Give me 1 second, folks. Oh, by the way, I had my Connecticut Ray Allen jersey, Yukon Ray Allen jersey, the 34. Right? Yeah, got you because it's your boy Conservative 34. Let's see. Yeah, let's see. And I'll still talk with you as I'm trying to figure out. This ain't gonna work. This thing is loading because it's 2 hours and 21 minutes. But check it out. I don't know. Anyway, I'm just gonna get off. I don't need an outro video. Thank you guys for watching. Mansfield video coming soon. Let's I guess we can. Well, I don't want to. What I would just say is I don't even want to say anything about I know I said I was going to check in, but the gorge thing, I mean, I guess check the news for updates. Condolences to anyone who has passed, or I hope everyone else is accounted for. But I hope they stop the mute. I don't know. I just feel like if people lost their life, and again, this could be delayed. This could have been stuff they were keeping under wraps because they didn't have the suspect. But I feel like even if there's even an idea that someone passed away from this in the general camping, I think you gotta honestly, if I was camping or if I was at the show, I'd want the show to stop and go home. Maybe you come back the next day, maybe you don't. I don't know. But again, this is something that these we don't know as much. We don't know the full story, right? Some stuff has come out. I'm gonna look or see what it's on, but just condolences. Actually, what we'll do here, let's see if we can get a number 34 for just yeah, we'll just in memory of if anyone who's lost their life to this this horrible situation in the gorge, we're gonna play a number 34 here. And just again, it's tragic. It's tragic to happen at this place that to me is the happiest place on earth. In a remote part, and I think that's what's kind of scary about this. This is a very remote part of the country. That's one of the more remote venues. There's a lot. There's some venues that are very remote, but this is a large faction of. Oops, sorry. I'm slipping. I'm falling. I can't get up. I'm tripping. I'm falling. I got to get up. Anyway, we'll play this for them. Rest in peace to anyone who has lost their life from this gorge situation. My thoughts and prayers are with anyone who's still there or knows people that are at this event. Again, I need to do more research. I don't want to speak on things I don't know. And I think more details should emerge as time goes on here.